Welcome back to the Step Out and Thrive podcast with me, Bethany Joy. I'm so excited that you're here, and just to make sure that you are in the right place. If you want to care well for other people, if you love relational connections, but no, honestly, they can be a little messy sometimes. And if you've ever been on the plane where you're supposed to put the oxygen mask on first and instead you're trying to make sure everybody else is taken care of, you might be in the right place. I want to make sure that you know that this is not a place for perfect people, but instead, really for those who want to do more than just survive this crazy life, but they get the tools and resources and community to really step out and thrive. That being said, we are right in the middle of an amazing series where we are going through Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And if you're going, Bethany, what is that? And how do you know that so well? I do not have the Bible memorized. I know, you're very sad. But that is one of my favorite passages, and it is all about Jesus walking on the water with Peter. Or Peter walking on the water with Jesus, however you want to think about it. But it's one of the most amazing messages in the Bible that talks about leadership and caring well in relationship. And so that's why we're going to just take a little bit of snack bites into the story, and we're really allowing ourselves to slow down and take some leadership principles away from it. And so last week we ended with Jesus was coming on the water and he said, "Don't be afraid, it is me." And Peter said, "Well, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water." And so, okay, I have to do this part because, like I said, I get to share this message with different groups, and I have over the years, ever since I've been in high school. I've shared this story, and it's changed as I've gotten to dive deeper into it and presented it and just sat with it myself. And so when I do this part where like Peter's like, on the boat and he says, "Jesus, if it is you, tell me to come to you on the water," right? And I see Jesus going, and all of a sudden I see Jesus going, "Come." Okay, I know that probably didn't happen, but in my mind, that would be amazing, right? And so we don't know how this all went down. Okay, honestly, we don't know. And if you've seen The Chosen, right, you got to see them kind of put this in portrayal. There really was a storm going on. During all of this, there's a storm going on. There's rain happening. There's waves crashing all around. So I think so many times, at least for me, until I guess 10, 15 years ago, I always thought Peter was just like on this little boat that was slightly rocking, and he just kind of put his foot over the railing and it was like, boop. It wasn't like that at all. Peter was most likely holding on to the edge of this boat for dear life. And it says that he kept his eyes on Jesus. Y'all, how? How? I cannot wait until I get to heaven and go, "Peter, bro, can you slow that down for me? Can we see that moment in slow motion again?" And then let's see the little drawings that they do. Have you guys been amazed on ESPN and those sports shows where they slow it down and then they're drawing on the little thing? I would love to do that. I would probably get in trouble because I'd be drawing some stick figures or something where I'm not supposed to. I don't know. Anyway, that's why they don't use me on ESPN. I don't even know the proper language. My kids would be like, "Mom, no," but it would be so much fun. Okay, welcome back. This is what you guys get. You guys can laugh with me. I hope you're laughing over there. Back to the snack size portion. So Peter is deciding that he wants to take the first step. Now notice, Jesus isn't there going, "Come on, Peter, you can do it. Come on, come on." He's not doing that. Sorry, my dog just looked at me like, "What?" Okay, he's not doing that. He's also not going on the boat and sitting with him and going, "I'm with you. We can take this first step together." He's not doing that either. All we know is that Jesus is on the water waiting for Peter to come join him. I don't know what this is like, so I'm not going to just assume that it looks a certain way, but nowhere in the text does it say that Jesus came to Peter. Instead, it says Peter got off the boat and walked on the water to Jesus. This is what I want to take away from this. Leadership doesn't always look the way that we think it's going to look. And it is so hard to watch clients, to watch students, to watch kids, to watch family members, to watch other people struggle, because we know that they have to take that next step, because we know if they don't, they will never be able to do it themselves. That is so hard. I often use this illustration, and if you've heard it before, awesome. If you haven't, cool. Now you really get to hear it. The whole illustration is that these kids were working together to have caterpillars turn into butterflies. And this one kid had this really special caterpillar and finally went to the cocoon, and he was so excited. He could not wait for this caterpillar to become a butterfly. And one day he started noticing that it was kind of peeking out of the cocoon and it was trying to break into it and break away. And he started to put his finger on the cocoon to kind of chip away to help the little caterpillar out. And the teacher said, no, Johnny, don't do that, because the caterpillar needs to be able to gather the strength to be able to get out of the cocoon itself. Well, Johnny kept on noticing, and he saw the butterfly struggle, and he just couldn't take it anymore. So he started to help, and he dug just a little bit out just so that the butterfly could slowly get out. But what happened is that the butterfly didn't have enough strength to actually fly. Now, I don't really know if that story is true, but the truth is that you really can't help a caterpillar, when it's turning into a butterfly, get out of the cocoon, because it really will hinder its growth. It needs the muscles that it's gaining in order to fly. That's part of the process and the development process. The same thing with leadership. We cannot always help people and chip away at the cocoon to help them learn how to fly. We have to watch them struggle. Oh my goodness, that's the hardest thing, isn't it? It is the hardest thing, and especially when they're asking us to take the pain away. And especially when we go, I think I can do something about it. But we know they have to go through this in order for them to grow. Nowhere does it say that Jesus walked away. I know sometimes people struggle with the fact that, well, it didn't say Jesus came to Peter. But it also didn't say that Jesus walked away either. It said that he was present. I have no idea what Jesus was saying, what he looked like when he was on the water. I don't understand what was going on the boat. Were the disciples trying to pull Peter back? Were they trying to pull him overboard? I don't know. But one thing remains the same. Jesus was there. Peter had to take that first step. And the first step is always the scariest. But Jesus was always there. In leadership, we have to know that Jesus is always there, even in the craziest of storms. Even when we're the ones that are in the Peter situation where we have to step over the edge and going, this doesn't make sense at all. But Jesus, I know you're there and you told me to come to you, so here we go. And I'm scared. But I know I'm not alone because I know you're here. And also when we have to watch the Peters take those steps that they need to in order to step out of the boat. Because they want to know what it feels like to have one foot in the boat and then one foot on the water. You know, I almost wondered that if Jesus was there helping Peter, if he would not have had that experience of having one foot on the boat and one foot on the water. Because it's at that moment that he's kind of going, okay, wait, they both don't feel like secure grounds. But I have to choose to go to the less secure ground right now to be with Jesus. He's not always safe, but he's present. That's the truth. And he made that choice. I told you that these lessons were not going to be easy, and I told you that they'd be challenging, and I told you that's why we're also taking this in bite-sized pieces. So many times we go through these messages in the Bible and we just kind of whiz through, where we take a Sunday and just make it all into one point, make it into a nice 3-point sermon and call it done. One thing that God is continuing to teach me is to slow down. Slow down. Just be. Just allow yourself to savor that moment. So I'm inviting you to do that today, my friend. Are you in Peter's situation where you are about to jump over the rail and you're feeling the insecurity of 2 different places, and you're looking towards Jesus and you're going, I don't know what's going to happen, and you're about to pull that second foot off the boat into the water? And he's there. And you're using muscles that you probably haven't used in a while. And it hurts and it's painful and you don't understand what's happening. Or maybe you're the one that's watching a Peter go through something that you've already been through, and everything in you wants to rescue, everything in you wants to show them how to do things, but you know if you do, it'll hurt their growth. Because what they really need to look at is Jesus right now. It's hard. Y'all, I'm not sugarcoating this. It is hard. But I want you to know that you are right where he wants you to be. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. But Peter took the first step. The first step is always the hardest. But in every step, we are not alone. So where are you this week? What steps are you taking? And who can you invite on that journey with you? Dare to do more than just survive. Step out and thrive. Go chase beauty and take that next best step. And just in case you're looking for a way to take that next best step, you can check out thrivewithbethany.com to download your free Interactive Appreciation Workbook. It's a great way to step out in amazing ways and get some grounding for your everyday life. It's free. Just go to the website, put your information in, and download your copy of it. And you can also visit bethanyjoy.fyi to get links to resources and upcoming groups and know how to connect with me. All right. Have a great week, everybody, and I will see you back here next week for another bite-sized snack moment. Bye, everybody.